So it's a win and a draw in this international window. Matthew Scianitti, in your mind, does that equal success in this international window?
I think so. When you go back to, especially that semifinal against Argentina at Copa America, Stefan Eustáquio made it clear this team needs depth. And boy, sure did they get a lot of depth. Look at Ali Ahmed certainly coming in and his impact against the Americans, and really Mexico tonight as well. Mathieu Choinière alongside Stefan Eustáquio in the middle of the midfield. And he looked calm, cool, and collected. And late on in the game, when Canada was looking for substitutions, well, it was Tani Oluwaseyi, Jason Russell-Rowe, Stephen Afrifa, and Nico Segur. And two of those guys are newcomers to this camp. And Nico Segur, who plays in Croatia for Hajduk Split, decided now to be a member of the Canadian men's national team and said to me after the game that he feels so Canadian and so much a part of this group. So yes, the results are great, but finding that depth was a huge objective in this window, and I think Jesse Marsh hit it.
Okay, so speaking of Jesse Marsh, that's been 10 games now since he's been in charge of the program. How would you rate him over the 10 games?
There's two ways to look at this, really, and I think you should put an asterisk on those 10 games. The first half of this is he's only won really twice in regulation in those 10 games, and that would be concerning if you didn't watch the way that Canada plays. And perhaps a good indication of that was this evening. Canada came out, they applied their principles, even with the 4 changes that they made to the lineup, to the team that beat the Americans. And it was Mexico in that first half who was so physical, trying to stymie and stop Canada from playing their kind of aggressive, passing, pressing football. But the other half of this is really, though, the next objective, and that is, and Jesse Marsh alluded to this as well, Canada has to be clinical. Only twice in those 10 games have they scored twice, and offense is a big deal. And speaking to the players on this team, and I've reiterated this throughout the week, they want to be dominant. They want to be a team that can press and pressure and be physical, but they want to score goals. Kyle Larin really came oh so close in that first half, but as we look forward, that is the one thing that Jesse Marsh is going to want to do. The 10 games is great. Really, when they started that second half against the Netherlands, I didn't think that we would be here. But look, semifinals against Copa America, a very successful international window against the U.S. and Mexico. It's a good 10-game start for Jesse Marsh.
Okay, so as we continue on the road to the World Cup in 2026, what are the next objectives for this team, given the fact, Matthew, that this team doesn't have to qualify for that World Cup?
October 15th, Canada will face Panama at BMO Field. The last time they faced Panama at BMO Field during the World Cup qualification in 2022 was a huge moment, really a momentum-changing moment for the program. We all remember Alphonso Davies' incredible goal in that game. Well, they will face Panama yet again on October 15th, and this will be the first time under Jesse Marsh that this Canadian team and the way they play will be on display on Canadian soil, and that is significant. I've spoken to these players constantly over the last few months and all the time I've been around them, and they want that moment. Jesse Marsh has spoken about it so many times that they've played on the road. They played in hostile atmospheres. I mean, not only have they played tonight against a hostile Mexican crowd, let's not forget 8 weeks ago they played against a Venezuelan team in the most significant moment for this men's team currently over the last couple of years in that quarterfinal win over Venezuela on penalties. But a game on Canadian soil against Panama, another rival in CONCACAF, is a huge signpost for this team.
Matthew Scianitti from Jerry World. Thanks for this, Matthew. Appreciate it.